Now on CoastTV News. It's a code red first alert Monday evening for Delmarva. Severe weather is possible. I'll talk impacts and timing coming up.
Road rules. We look at what is being reviewed in Lewis ahead of a public hearing over construction of a townhouse development.
Assessment anxiety. It is happening in Sussex County with the deadline to appeal the latest property reassessment happening today.
Back at the park. Both the Phillies and Orioles have their 2025 home debuts this afternoon.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And welcome to our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning. I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. It is Monday, March 31st.
Some people taking off work today, I think, Elisa. Some students taking off school. Yeah. We just saw it there. Home openers in Philadelphia and Baltimore.
Well, we know one big Philadelphia fan, our producer, Alyssa. She did not take off, though. She is here.
You know, if you were able to hear what she was saying during the break, she's making some bold predictions about the Phillies. Do we question if she's really that big of a fan if she's here today? No, I'm just kidding, I'm gonna leave
Alyssa.
That one to you.
I'm just kidding. But Bob, I know we have some bad weather coming in later. I think everyone's worried about how that'll affect their baseball games if they're going.
Well, I don't think it'll affect the beginning or middle part of the games because they begin at 2 to 3 p.m. But I think later in the day, in the evening around Philly and Baltimore, definitely have to be vigilant for that chance of storms. But a lot of that comes in after dark for us here in Sussex County and the eastern part of Delmarva. 65 in Salisbury now, and Delmar, just checked my home station in Millsboro, 65 there, so incredibly mild. 59 in Ocean City, a little cooler there, and 64 in Rehoboth, as we have gusty southwest winds now, 31 miles per hour, gusting to in Salisbury, 20 in Ocean City, so it'll be breezy all day long. We're looking at mostly cloudy skies. We have seen some garden variety showers across the eastern shore now, making their way up into farther north into Kent County. Also, a few of those showers down through Cambridge. Some very light showers right now, and those continue to sweep to the east. A lot of them are kind of falling apart, but the stronger activity is back to the west with the cold front making its way through the Ohio Valley. You can see these showers and storms from western PA into the Tennessee Valley. Not especially strong right now, but as this front moves to the east and with the peak heating of the day and some dynamics in the atmosphere, we will start to see that severe weather ramping up later on. So for us, it's a level 2 risk of seeing severe weather as we go into the evening hours, even an enhanced risk down into the Piedmont of North Carolina, a better chance of tornadoes there. For us, I think it's a damaging wind threat as we go through the overnight hours. So let's walk you through it on Futurecast. A few stray showers this morning, breezy and mild. We'll see some breaks of sun as temperatures once again quickly rise. We'll see windy conditions out of the southwest, and by noon we're into the mid-70s. Cooler at the coast with 50s and 60s there. Around 78 Lewis at 3 o'clock, 78 in Millsboro, Delmar 77. I think we're quiet through the dinner hour through about 7 p.m. We're also quiet. Then after 8 o'clock, we have to watch to the west for a strong line of showers and storms moving in. And once again, damaging winds, heavy rain, and maybe an isolated tornado are all possible. More on that coming up in my main weather. Ferry riding forecast is breezy and mild this morning with temperatures rising through the 60s with gusty southwest winds. So it might be a little bumpy heading over with Whitecaps up to Cape May. And temperatures by 11 around 69 degrees, and then heading into the 70s inland areas this afternoon.
Thank you, Bob. Our top story this hour, momentum appears to be on the side of a proposed townhouse development in Lewis. The project for Savannah Road is being called Overfall Preserve, and we're expecting to have 25 recommendations from the city's planning commission to be reviewed tonight. Now, there is some question over whether a traffic study is needed. In January, Morris James LLP said the amount of traffic from the new homes would not be enough to warrant a study. We should learn more about that at the public meeting scheduled for 5:30.
As we now take a live look at Lewis, we are going to take a deeper dive into traffic on Savannah Road. It is one of the main roads that leads into the heart of the city. And the city is considering paying for a study with DELDOT about the Overfall Preserve to look at safety issues on Savannah Road. As
CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us, while businesses have been affected by one of the parking bans, some cyclists and drivers in Lewis think a study is a good idea.
Savannah Road in Lewis. Here's what local Anna Denny thinks of it.
There's a lot more bikers than there used to be, and just tremendous amount of traffic.
The city now wants to team up with DELDOT to study safety on the road. Denny thinks it's a good idea.
Something needs to be done. I don't know what it is, but something they need to investigate and find out.
Back in January, the city passed an ordinance to ban parking on part of Savannah Road due to bike safety. But the city says the study wouldn't just be about parking. As a cyclist in Lewis, Joseph Kehoe says he tries to avoid Savannah Road.
They talk about being a bike town, but it's really restricted to the bikers.
The city says the study could also extend to Dutchman's Harvest and Overfall Preserve. For now, the discussion continues over safety on Savannah. In Lewis, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
Happening today, an important deadline is here for homeowners in Sussex County. Property value reassessment is finishing up across the county, and today is the last day to appeal your newly reassessed values. We spoke with homeowners in Laurel about this process, which drew mixed opinions.
I think the appeal process it's murky at best. The letter I got, like I said, was pretty much good luck getting us changed.
I'm sure that the appeal process will work very, very well. Yeah, very honestly, I think the county is doing very well.
It's important to note, according to the county, that entire process can be done online.
Starting today, students in the Indian River School District will be spending a little extra time in class. The district is adding 20 minutes to each school day. This is to make up time that was lost due to bad weather, and the school day will be extended until the end of the academic year.
This just in, updated security rules for the Chincoteague Pony Swim. The town is announcing rules ahead of the 100th anniversary. According to Chincoteague officials, coolers, umbrellas, and glass containers are no longer allowed at the event. Bags and backpacks are also banned unless they are clear. The Chincoteague Pony Swim takes place July 30th.
This afternoon, the boys are back in town. The Phillies will play their first home game of the 2025 season at the park in South Philly. It's always a special day on the sports calendar with the pomp and the circumstance and the fanatic. The defending National League East champs, they bring a 2-1 record into this one after playing in Washington over the weekend. First pitch is set for 3:05 against the Rockies. And about 30 minutes earlier, about 2 hours south on Interstate 95, the Orioles will play their first game of the season at Camden Yards. Red Sox are in Crabtown to take on the Birds. Baltimore attempting to take that big step in the postseason after early exits over the past 2 years.
The death toll following Friday's massive earthquake in the Asia country of Myanmar continues to rise, and you can see that devastating damage right there on your screen. That number currently stands at more than 1,600 following the 7.5 magnitude earthquake that caused numerous buildings to collapse. Rescue workers are still digging through debris, looking for more victims and survivors.
Now I'm going to go live to Washington, D.C. President Trump expressing some frustration over the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia. Over the weekend, the president voiced anger with Russian President Vladimir Putin, telling NBC News on a phone interview that he, quote, was very angry and ticked off at Putin for criticizing the credibility of Ukrainian President Zelensky's leadership. Ceasefire talks have been in progress for months. Despite the conflict, President Trump is staying optimistic of an impending deal.
I think we're making a lot of progress on Ukraine and Russia. There's always conflict, but I think we're making a lot of progress getting it stopped.
Amid the frustration, the president is now threatening extra tariffs on Russian oil.
We're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News today.
Yeah, coming up, Coastal Cleanup Group. They're called Beach Heroes, and they are back with plans this spring for the town.
Also, Ocean City officials set to review budget proposals for fiscal year 2026, and we'll tell you how a boost to one department could impact visitors in the coastal town.
And dialing back discounts when some AT&T customers could have to pay more for service. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Coming up on 6:12 on this Monday morning, Bay Health Cam and Milford starting to see some daylight, some clouds, a few breaks, and can't rule out a few sprinkles this morning. It's mild into the mid-60s, inland areas, lower 60s at the beaches at Bethany Beach, 62, 64 in Rehoboth. Gusty winds gusting over 30 miles per hour in Salisbury and 15 to 20 miles per hour elsewhere. So we'll be breezy. We have these run-of-the-mill showers, garden variety showers to the north in Kent County. Also a little bit across eastern shore. This is not what we're concerned about. We're worried about the activity that builds in tonight along a cold front back to our west that could bring severe weather with a cold front, but that'll be after dark. If you're heading to your favorite coffee shop this morning, go XL because, it's going to be a stressful day. We're awaiting severe weather. 78 degrees, breezy and mild conditions. I'll have much more on your beach forecast coming up a little bit later on.
Happening today in Greenwood, DelDOT expected to put on lane closures on Market Street. They say the Delmarva Central Railroad Company needs this to complete maintenance on the railroad crossing in that area. The closures are set to begin at 7 a.m. and work is expected to be completed by April 7th at 5 p.m.
Students in Del Mar won't be in class today. According to the district, teachers will spend today catching up on grading, and students will return to class tomorrow.
And we got a similar situation going on in Seaford today. Students there get to sleep in this morning. According to the district's Facebook page, today is an in-service day. That means no school for students. The district says classes will resume Tuesday, April 1st.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg says Facebook is going OG Facebook with a revamped Friends tab. Under the tab, your feed will only show posts from friends and family with no recommended content. The new Friends tab replaces the one that showed new friend requests or people you may know. The new tab is available in the U.S. and Canada, and Zuckerberg says OG Facebook features are coming soon.
Some AT&T customers will be paying a little more for service. The carrier is announcing it will soon trim its monthly auto pay discount. It'll start on April 24th. The rebate will go down to $5. It's half of what it was before. There is an exception. The $10 rebate will remain for customers enrolled with a bank account.
Here's a live look at our tunnel and razor cam in Lewis. Starting to see some daylight, clouds, maybe a stray sprinkle or shower this morning out the door. Will be a mild and breezy Monday. Then the threat for severe weather comes after dark tonight. We have a code red. I'll talk about the impacts and time it out on Futurecast coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
Beach Heroes OC released the organization's cleanup dates. The first is set for tomorrow, April 1st at 56th Street, then on April 8th on 94th Street, and on April 15th on Philadelphia Avenue and Worcester Street. For all cleanup dates, times are set for 9 to 10 a.m., and if you need cleanup supplies, stop by Town Hall. And storms are in the near future, but Bob said that if you want to go to the beach, you're good until this evening.
That sounds good. What better way to say goodbye to March than with a stroll on the boardwalk a little bit later on today?
It's a good way to start the week, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a nice way to end the month, too, with temperatures that are pretty mild out there. It's after dark that we're concerned about the potential for severe weather. Assateague and Chincoteague could see a few stray showers, otherwise some sun and maybe some fog by this evening with temperatures into the low 60s. Farther up the coast, Fenwick Island and Ocean City, a stray shower possible this morning, otherwise breezy and temperatures into the 60s. On the Bayside, stormy this evening for Cambridge, so keep an eye to the sky. Cooler Tuesday and Wednesday. Similar conditions for Crisfield with the storms this evening, and then windy and cooler Tuesday and Wednesday. We're looking at up and down temperatures. The battle of the seasons continue. I'll have much more on that severe weather threat and your work week forecast coming up in the next half hour.
Break on CoastTV News today. Pony Swim security updates will tell you how officials are using new rules to prepare for the 100th anniversary.
Also, Savannah safety study. Lewis is exploring paying for a review with DelDOT to take a look at improvements on this road.
And Lewis officials will review the Overfall Preserve development today, why some locals have a problem with those proposed plans. CoastTV News today will be right back.
Now on CoastTV News.
It's a code red first alert Monday evening for Delmarva. Severe weather is possible. I'll talk impacts and timing coming up.
Savannah Road study with businesses and new developments along a main way into Lewis. Are more parking bans in store?
Deadline on home dollars, what property owners in Sussex County need to know, and what could be their final chance to appeal the latest assessment.
Tacking on time, the new and longer day in the Indian River School District that begins today.
This is CoastTV News Today.
March 31st, 2025. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning. I'm Elisa Weber. Thank you for joining us.
We're approaching 6:30 on this Monday morning. You know, Washington has the cherry blossoms.
Yes.
I've noticed that many of the trees in my neighborhood are starting to bloom.
I did too, and I also noticed it because my eyes are getting itchy.
Are they really?
They are. So, you know, eye drops sponsor me. No, I'm just kidding. But it's that time of year. And Bob, you know, you said it's a good thing that those trees are starting to bloom.
Yeah. Haven't bloomed fully yet. Right?
No, that's very good. With the strong winds we're expecting tonight, that's good that the trees haven't totally blossomed because they won't catch as much wind tonight. But that said, we still could be looking at damaging winds tonight. But we're good this morning. We're good during the daylight hours. And it's mild, 65 in Salisbury, Georgetown, Milton, all pretty mild into the mid-60s. 55 in Ocean City, cooler down here near Ocean Pines, and mild from Bethany Beach up to Rehoboth right now. Winds are gusty, over 30 miles per hour in Salisbury, over 20 miles per hour in Millsboro, and gusty at the beaches too. Those winds will be blowing all day long as we're seeing mostly cloudy skies. We have seen a few stray showers now moving in through the eastern shore. They kind of fade out as they move into Sussex County, but we had them from Denton to Hurlock, Best Pitch. So they continue to move to the east. So make sure you have the umbrella handy. But this is not what we're concerned about. These are run-of-the-mill showers. Stronger storms will be developing along a cold front as we go into the afternoon and evening hours. There's a level 2 risk of seeing severe weather for our entire area. I think the main threat will be damaging winds, a higher chance of tornadoes from the Piedmont of North Carolina farther to the south. So futurecast this morning, a few spotty showers, have the umbrella handy. Then we're warming quickly through the 60s, mid 70s some places by noon. That's away from the coast. At the beaches, a little cooler. We're dry through the afternoon, very mild, upper 70s, close to 80 inland. We're still dry through the dinner hour. Then after about 8 p.m., we have to watch to the northwest for that line of showers and thunderstorms coming through. Damaging winds the main threat, and maybe some heavier rain as we get deeper into the evening. We will be looking at a few showers this morning, nothing severe. I gave it the yellow light for the morning commute, and then heading home I gave it the green light between 4 and 6, breezy and mild conditions. But make sure you secure those outdoor items because after dark, that's when we're going to start to see that potential for severe weather. We do have a code red alert. I'll have much more on that severe threat coming up a little bit later on.
Bob, our top story this half hour, when debated development gets another hearing in front of Lewis officials. Overfall Preserve plans call for 90 townhomes off of Savannah Road. The Lewis Planning Commission granted approval in January for the preliminary site plan, but with 25 conditions attached. Some people in Lewis have worries about those plans.
The lack of services that we have now, the medical, the dental, we've just been overrun by people.
And from over the past several months, there's about 60 pages of public comments about this land, most of them opposing the idea. And that next public hearing is this evening at 5:30.
Yeah, as we get a live look at the canal in Lewis, if you've driven in this area, you know that Savannah Road is a key road over that waterway. And now the city is looking to learn more about its traffic. Lewis officials are considering paying for a study with DelDOT to look at safety issues there. It was back in January, the city council passed an ordinance to ban parking on part of Savannah Road, claiming it was needed for bike safety. According to Lewis officials, this new study won't just be about parking. It would take a bigger look at safety as a whole.
Something needs to be done. I don't know what it is, but something they need to investigate and find out. Well, there's a lot more bikers than there used to be, you know, and just tremendous amount of traffic.
And the city says the study should also extend to Dutchman's Harvest and Overfall Preserve.
Happening today, an important deadline for homeowners in Sussex County. Property value reassessment is finishing up across the county. And today is the final day to appeal your newly reassessed values. We spoke with homeowners in Laurel about the process, which drew some mixed opinions.
I think the appeal process could be, it's murky at best. The letter I got, like I said, it was pretty much good luck getting us changed.
I'm sure that the appeal process will work very, very well. Yeah, very honestly, I think the county is doing very well.
It's important to note, according to the county, the entire process can be done online.
We have an update on security rules. This is for the Chincoteague Pony Swim to tell you about. Town is announcing the rules ahead of the 100th anniversary, and according to Chincoteague officials, coolers, umbrellas, And glass containers, they are no longer allowed at the event. Bags and packbacks are also banned unless they're clear. The Chincoteague Pony Swim, that takes place July 30th.
Starting today, students in the Indian River School District will spend a little extra time in the classroom because the district is adding 20 minutes to each school day to make up for time lost due to bad weather. The school day will be extended until the end of the school year.
We're now going to go live to Washington, D.C. You can look at the Capitol building there. Ahead this week, we have new tariffs to talk about and a focus on special elections taking place with millions of dollars being poured for both Democrat and Republican candidates. Also, President Trump expressing some strong criticism for Russian President Vladimir Putin.
NBC's Alice Barr shows us all of this and how those new tariffs set to go into effect Wednesday could impact some of the world's major industries.
President Trump returning to Washington for a busy week with his massive reciprocal tariff plan set to roll out on Wednesday against all trading partners.
You'd start with all countries.
Grabbing headlines first by not ruling out potentially seeking a constitutionally prohibited third term in office, telling NBC's Kristen Welker in an exclusive phone interview, quote, "I'm not joking," and that he thinks there would be methods to pursue it, later saying he's not looking at that.
We have a long way to go before we even think about it.
That as his billionaire advisor Elon Musk is raising legal questions for handing out million-dollar checks to two voters at a Wisconsin town hall where he campaigned for a conservative judge up for election tomorrow in the state's high-stakes Supreme Court race that could lead to redrawing Wisconsin's congressional maps.
Whichever party controls the House, it to a significant degree controls the country, which then steers the course of Western civilization.
Protesters lined up as Democrats accuse Musk, who's poured millions into the race, of trying to buy the seat, though the state Supreme Court chose not to intervene. From frustration in the streets to President Trump voicing anger with Russian President Vladimir Putin, telling NBC News in that phone interview that he was, quote, very angry and pissed off at Putin for criticizing the credibility of Ukrainian President Zelensky's leadership.
You're supposed to be making a deal with him, whether you like him or you don't like him.
President Trump now threatening extra tariffs on Russian oil. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
And we have more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Sandhill safety upgrades will tell you about concerns from locals that could have led to the installation of a new gate at the facility.
Also, Willard walks away from Maryland as the Final Four is set in college basketball. The Terps are looking for a new head coach.
In Turkey Time in Delaware will tell you how Denmark is giving hunters more time to participate this season. Stay with us on Coast TV News today.
Just about 6:40 on our Monday morning. Tyndall's casual furniture camera in Laurel 65 showing the clouds moving pretty rapidly, indicating the wind in place. And we had a little bit of light earlier with the sunrise, but now the clouds are overtaking it. And we could see a few scattered showers this morning as it's very mild in the mid-60s inland with 50s and 60s at the beaches. And the winds are strong too, at times gusting over 30 miles per hour. So it will be a breezy day. We are watching some showers now. Mardella Springs up to American Corner, the eastern shore, and these are moving to the east. Could be in the Laurel area here in the next half hour. These are run-of-the-mill showers, nothing severe here. A stronger cold front back to the west will bring us a better chance of severe weather after dark across Delmarva. Today's checklist: you need the umbrella, need the raincoat at times. Warm weather clothes for sure as we warm into the upper 70s, and secure the outdoor items. We could see damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour as we go into the evening and overnight, and we're going to have some rain with that too. Have the First Alert weather app downloaded and handy and ready to go. And it's good to have the sunglasses too. And congratulations to Gary Beauchamp from Laurel on winning a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV.
Drivers in Salisbury should plan ahead for an upcoming road closure, the city says, starting today. Fairview Lane will be closed starting at Sawbuck Lane, and this is for a utility installation. Work is expected to last for 2 weeks. And new this morning, Delaware's wild turkey season opens up next weekend, but Denmark says some new changes are coming this season, mainly for hunting on Sundays. Denmark says this is the first time Sunday turkey hunting has been allowed in the state since 1991. but it's only permitted on private lands with landowner permission and on designated state wildlife areas. It's still not allowed on state forests or at national wildlife refuges. The season runs from April 5th to May 10th right there in Delaware. And happening today, Denmark Mosquito Control will continue applying insecticide. Agency says spraying will take place during daylight hours in Georgetown and Woodside, also in areas near Ellendale, Felton, and Milton. The product being used poses no unreasonable risk to human health, wildlife, or the environment.
Final Four is set. The South Regional game on Sunday featured an Auburn team that held the #1 ranking for a good part of the regular season, going up against the Michigan State program that is no stranger to this time of the year. Auburn, they are attempting to get to the Final Four for just the second time in program history. First half, the Tigers, Mike Kelly, he's wide open for three, and he knocks it down. Auburn up 15-8. And then it's Janai Broom from distance. That's good. Tigers up 33-24 at halftime. We go late second half. And Michigan State, they made this one a little interesting. Here's Jeremy Fears, brings the Spartans to win the 4 with that three-pointer. And then it was Denver Jones, and he says, we are going to San Antonio, folks. Auburn, the top seed in the South region, they marched successfully to the Final Four after a 70-64 win. Houston punched their ticket to the Final Four with a convincing 69-50 win over Tennessee. It's the Cougars' second Final Four appearance over the past 5 seasons. And going back to the regular season, Houston has won 17 games in a row. They will face Duke in Saturday's semifinal. Maryland now in the market for a new head men's basketball coach after Kevin Willard took the Villanova job over the weekend. CBS Sports is reporting that Willard turned down a deal that would have paid him close to $6 million a year to remain in College Park. He led the Terrapins to the NCAA tournament in 2 of his 3 seasons there, including this past week's run to the Sweet 16. And now we have the latest installment of Ovechkin Watch. The Great 8 began Sunday 6 goals away from breaking the career mark set by the Great 1, Wayne Gretzky. So if Ovechkin's going to accomplish that ultimate individual achievement this season, time is running out. At the start of the day, he was just 10 games remained in the regular season. Ovechkin gearing up to move closer to history. We go third period, Caps trailing, and here it is, career goal 890, now 5 behind Gretzky. And let's take another look at this. This pulls the Caps to within 2 at 6-4 at this point. It was a 1-goal game late in the third. Sabres, Matthias Samuelsson scores, and the Sabres, they spoil the fun with an 8-5 win. Ovechkin's next chance to get closer is Tuesday night in Boston. And coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network, 6:30, we have Stellar Fight 66, and then you can catch the final score at 10:30. There's a full lineup of high school lacrosse matchups on the DSM Plus app. All of these are at 4. We have Bennett Boys home with Kent Island. More boys lacrosse in Delaware when Indian River hosts St. Mark's. Sussex Tech takes on Del Castle. And girls lacrosse, Milford is home with Ursuline.
Today marks 30 years since the death of Tejano music legend Selena Quintanilla. The singer made history when she won her first Grammy in 1994 for Best Mexican-American Album, becoming the first female Tejano artist to win in that category. She was just 23 years old when she was killed following year by Yolanda Saldivar, who served as the founder and president of Selena's fan club. Saldivar is serving a life sentence for the 1995 murder, and she was denied parole last week, according to the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles. And here's a look at what's coming up this afternoon at 4 on Coast Life.
Hope you had a great weekend, Coast Life. Hope you got outside, enjoyed that weather. But coming up today at 4, we also hope that you thank a doctor today, because yesterday was National Doctor's Day.
And there's going to be a lot of laughing and groaning, guffawing as we get into our joke jar of the day. Some good jokes, some bad jokes. You won't want to miss it.
Nothing gets you through your Monday like those eye rolls from our joke jar. All that fun and so much more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life.
Lots of clouds on our Monday morning. Gutter helmet cam. It could shower this morning, so make sure you have your rain gear handy. It's mild and breezy too. But the main event comes this evening after dark. We have a threat for severe weather with the code red. I'll talk about impacts and time it out on Futurecast and talk about a cool down. In fact, up and down temperatures in the next several days. Your full forecast is coming up in 2 minutes. Stay tuned.
It is 6:48 and we are taking a live look outside at Laurel this morning. And Bob, it's pretty calm outside. We see a little bit of the sun popping through. Hopefully it fully pops through. That's what I would like. But I know we're expecting storms, but that's tonight.
Yeah, I don't think that sun's going to come out in full blast for today. In fact, on that camera, you can see how the clouds are moving very quickly. The upper levels are producing strong winds right now, and eventually we could be looking at severe weather as we go into tonight. It's part of our storyline. We do have a code red that goes into effect this evening, and especially into the overnight hours where we do have that threat for severe weather. You see the QR code right there. Make sure you hover your phone over that in camera mode and download the CoastTV First Alert weather app to keep you on top of what's going on. And we could be looking at damaging winds as we go through the overnight hours. And then Tuesday, a much different story. Sunny, breezy, cooler with highs in the 50s. Then Wednesday morning, maybe a touch of frost, but far from frost right now. We've got 65 in Georgetown, Milton, and Seaford, and Salisbury as well. 54 in Ocean City. Cooler for you, 58 in Ocean Pines, and low to mid 60s from Bethany Beach up to Rehoboth. As we have gusty winds too, over 20 miles per hour in Millsboro and Indian River Inlet, and over 30 miles per hour in Salisbury. So it's breezy. We've got mostly cloudy skies. We are tracking some showers now making their way into Sussex County, up in the Kent County, Harrington through Riverview. We've got some showers there through Bridgeville. This is not severe weather. This is not what we're looking at as far as a severe threat. These are run-of-the-mill showers from Federalsburg down to Mardello Springs, Nanacoke, and maybe some showers moving into Salisbury as they're moving to the east right now. So have the umbrella handy for these. Otherwise, breezy and mild today. It's this cold front back to the west that we're watching right now. Nothing severe along this front, but as it starts to move in closer to us with the heating of the day and more dynamics in the atmosphere, I think we will see a line of strong to severe storms breaking out as we go into this evening. So Futurecast this morning has us breezy with a few showers, but I think the balance of the day is dry. A mix of sun and clouds, and temperatures quickly warming through the 70s. 78 from Salisbury to Millsboro. Georgetown maybe an 80-degree reading here and there. Not at the beaches, though. A little cooler there. I think we're still okay as far as not seeing bad weather through about 7 p.m. Then by about 8 or 9 o'clock, we have to watch to the west, northwest for the building showers and storms. Could bring heavy rain, maybe a brief spin-up tornado, but it looks like the best dynamics would be during the daytime hours. And I think as we go into the evening, that will start to wane a little bit. So that's certainly good news, but we're still looking at moderate to heavy rain around the 1 o'clock hour. We have drought conditions, but we could see some brief flooding in poor drainage areas. The rain should quit around 2:30, and then we're breezy and chilly as we go into your Tuesday with highs into the 50s, and then maybe a little frosty Wednesday morning. But it's a level 2 risk, a slight risk of seeing severe weather. Could see a spin-up tornado, a low chance of that, maybe some large hail, but strong winds, moderate to high chance of seeing gusts up to 60 miles per hour. So make sure you secure those outdoor items, and maybe some minor flooding as we see about a half inch to about an inch of rain, especially under some of those heavier thunderstorms. And we do have the gusty winds now. They'll be gusting over 30 miles per hour. Could be locally stronger with those storms this evening. And then we'll see those stronger, colder northwesterly winds into tomorrow. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 78 evening storms, the PM code red alert. And then Tuesday, 58 with sunshine, 38 Wednesday morning, 57 Friday, up to 77 Thursday. A chance of showers Friday, 76. Looks like some of those showers could spill into the weekend, 64. A little bit of rain Saturday, more showers on Sunday, and 73.
Developing news in Georgetown, where a new gate has been installed at the Sandhill Fields parking lot near Murray's Lane. According to a Facebook post by Georgetown Mayor Bill West, the gates will close every night at 8 p.m. and the size of this lot can hold only about a dozen cars. CoastTV did reach out to Sandhill to see what was going on and why this was needed. While we did not hear back from them, we did get the chance to speak with people who live nearby and use the trail. We heard concerns over people entering the lot for what was described as inappropriate behavior.
I think it's good for safety reasons. Like, I mean, you just never know, especially if you bring kids out here, like if anyone's going to be lurking around, especially late at night. So it's definitely good to have some kind of safety precautions established here just for everyone.
According to Mayor West, the gate aims to address certain safety concerns.
And you may remember in August there was a break-in at that complex. Thousands of dollars worth of equipment was stolen from the community garage. And following that break-in, we're talking October 2024, Sandhill Fields installed 17 new security cameras around the property.
The time is now 6:53, so we're going to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
And today's coastal pet of the day this hour, we have two best friends on your screen. That is Reese and Gordon. As you can see, they love sitting out in the sun. Who doesn't? They are two best buds, and they were submitted to us by Shar in Frankfurt.
And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them so special. You can take a look at your screen.
You can scan that QR code at the top to submit your friends to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. We'll be right back.
It is 6:56, and we're going to take another quick look at your Monday forecast.
Yeah, Bob, we were heading for first alert red conditions, but that's later today.
It's later today. It's after dark, and I think the saving grace is we're going to have clouds today, and then that activity moves in after sunset, after peak heating, so maybe not that bad. But a few showers this morning, breezy and mild today, temperatures into the upper 70s. Then this evening, watching for that threat for storms between about 8 p.m. and 2 a.m., damaging winds, a spin-up tornado possible. Paul Davis 10-day forecast cools down Tuesday and Wednesday with upper 50s. Maybe a little frosty Wednesday morning, back into the 70s for the end of the weekend. Some showers Friday, maybe carrying on into the weekend.
Bob, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News Today.
And the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
Then we'll be back for Coast TV Midday at 11.
And until then, have a great Monday morning, everybody.